Hey, this is Marta from Bleeding Through, and you're watching Metalheadz.
Okay, this is Pete from Metalheadz, and I'm here with Marta from Bleeding Through. How are you today?
Good, I'm good.
That's cool. Been on tour with Machine Hatebreed and Hatebreed through the UK. How's it been so far?
Really pretty good. This tour actually started over in mainland Europe, and it's ending in the UK, so today's our last show in...
The UK and then it's up to Ireland.
Yeah. That part of the... well... No, Northern?
No, Northern Ireland
Northern
is. You got to be right about that, because I made a cock up last week about this.
Uh-oh.
So obviously it's been all the way through mainland Europe and in the UK. Highlights of the tour?
Finally playing Brixton was awesome. We'd
cool.
yet to play there until this tour. And actually Paris was quite a good show, I think, for everybody as well, which...
What is the metal scene like in France? Because I seem to be getting a few more CDs coming in from France these days, and it's interesting me a bit.
Well, I don't know exactly. I know how our shows have done there. I don't think Paris... It
doesn't seem like the most metal country in the world, does
it? I feel like I don't have a strong idea of what they like there, because...
I guess like Gojira is their flagship band.
Yeah, but this was our best show that we had yet to play there, and hopefully my impression of Paris is getting better from this last show.
Cool.
So maybe they're warming up.
Getting around to the metal scene. Now you just released a new song, Anti-Hero.
Yes.
Which is I played it on Tuesday. Really cool song. I imagine you've been playing this live.
We haven't been on the Machine Head shows. We've done 2 headliners since we've been on this tour, just off dates, and played it for the first time in Ghent in Belgium. Cool. And it went over really, really well. People already knew the song. It had been
internet.
I know. It had been online, or it had been on our MySpace for not even a week or a week and a half or something, and people are already singing along. So it's definitely a rewarding feeling. And then we played it the other day in Norwich.
Cool.
So,
do you think, like, the internet and everything, like, helps bands like you?
I mean, I think the internet can help lots of bands kind of initially get their name out there and maybe get some material out there, but I don't think it's the only way. I don't think it's the only thing. I think, if you want to be a legitimate band, you got to tour.
Yeah, well, it's all about live. You can't download a live.
Yeah.
Can you? Now, Anti-Hero, then, that's going to be off your latest album, self-titled, Bleeding Through. Is Anti-Hero an indication for like what the rest of the album might be?
I think so. I think it's a pretty good implication of what the album has in store. There's obviously, as you can tell from the song, it's kind of black metal influenced, thrash influenced, and that's kind of a general theme throughout the album. As well as there's some more fun things on the album. There's some singing, there's a lot of solos, but I'd say it's a pretty good example.
Awesome. You said about black metal and thrash influences.
Yeah.
A little bit surprised. What sort of black metal bands and thrash bands you guys been listening to?
Fucking any and all.
I've been hooked on Emperor for about a month now.
Yeah, exactly. Always Demu, because they have done symphonic black metal like none other.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Immortal, any and all.
The new album.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's album. Good, huh?
What a good album. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that song. Now, you've recently had some record label changes.
True.
You're on Rise Records now,
Yes.
Is that right? What was the reason behind the label change?
Well, it was Declaration was our last album with Trustkill. We fulfilled our contract with that album, and as soon as the record cycle had ended for that, we started talking to new labels, and Rise really kind of stepped up to the plate as far as talking about doing all of the things that they were going to do, and record labels are, I think, in a tougher spot these days, as far as, at least in the U.S. The deals that they're giving are not as...
360s?
Yeah, they're 360s, and we've been a band for so long. We've been a band for 10 years. That's a long time. And didn't think that thought we were worth more than some of the offers that we were getting, and so Rise was the winner, and we've been really pleased with them so far.
Do you think in 10, 20 years bands are actually going to need record labels? Because I've seen some new record labels that are just openly giving away the albums, not selling it at all. And I asked myself at that point, well, what does a record label do?
Well, it's probably different for everybody, but, like was it Radiohead that put out the last album without a label?
You could pay as much as you thought it was right.
I think to some extent that's a great idea if you're a big enough band and have confidence in your sales and your shows and know that, you're an established band that people are going to care about regardless of how much marketing goes into an album. But I think that for a lot of bands, labels are kind of necessary for a lot of reasons. They're a funding and an organization that essentially make a lot of the pieces come into motion. But I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say. Some bands, I think, are very reliant on labels, and others might be fine without them. Others, it depends on what a band is trying to go for. If they're simply trying to get their album out there, if you want to go straight to the publisher, that's one way of going about it. But then there's a lot of things that come into
avenues you can take now.
Yeah.
You just said you've been going for 10 years. It is any band that goes for 10 years. It's something to be really happy about. What has been the main thing that's kept you driven to carry on?
Well, I haven't been with the band 10 years. I've been with them since 2003, so a long time. Yeah. What has kept us going? Our love for this band, our love for this music that we make. Bleeding Through has always made music for ourselves first and foremost, and I think we've never been a band to just be a band to follow a trend, or we've never done it to blow up and want to be famous or make money. I mean, it'd be nice to make money, but we've always been kind of a slow and steady, just slow trek of continuing, which is honestly, I think all we ever really wanted was to continue to be able to do this band. And
working so far.
Touring
with Machine Head, no complaints. Now after this, it's back over to the States for a headline tour, is it?
Yes. Well, actually, we get back from this, and this bill goes over to Japan and Australia.
That's right, yeah.
And then we come home and get going on a U.S. headliner, yeah.
Cool.
And the album is out the 13th in the U.S.?
April.
Of April, yes.
Yeah, and you're hoping to come back to the UK when, once the album's out?
Yes, we are planning to come back to Europe for festivals this summer.
Cool.
And
so
I think
some... of guesses.
Well, we're waiting on some, but fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for some big festivals.
True.
Awesome. Well, Marta, thanks for having a chat with me today, and have a great show tonight.
Thank you.
So you can be set free.